Alrighty, another day. Uh, I am on vacation. It is midwinter break where I am, so in the middle of February, we get a week off from school, so that's pretty nice. I got to use this opportunity to catch up on all of the types of media that I want to consume. Uh, I have an ongoing list of albums and books and movies that I want to, consume, which, when you put it like that, it feels kind of sad. I'm like one word away from just saying content and just consuming content for the sake of consuming it, which is, less than ideal, definitely like kind of an anti-arts sentiment. But in any case, it is what it is. I think that in order to be a producer, you have to consume a ton, and you have to work through that relationship of reading a ton in order to be a better writer, or listening to music a ton in order to create better music. Like that all kind of just makes sense. It's kind of interesting too, that relationship with consuming as a producer or as a prospective producer kind of changes how you consume, or kind of makes it a more intentional consumption of it, which is probably better than the passive phone in lap, Netflix on in the background kind of thing that I think that content is more criticizing. I say that as an example, most recently, because I am streaming on Twitch more, which sounds really embarrassing, but it's just like a fun thing to do because I'm already playing video games anyway. Might as well just talk out loud and see what sticks. But being on Twitch streams now, watching other people stream, I'm now more cognizant of their setup, of their just like how their stream or their screen is formatted, knowing that that's probably how they did that. That's how they probably windowed these things in that way, for this reason or that reason. Anyway, I've noticed it more with streams, and not that I am consistently watching those either, but it's an interesting example. Kind of within teaching, we talk about teaching reading and writing as if we were writers. So this framework of being a reader as if you were a writer yourself. So you're paying attention more to the craft and understanding why a writer would make these choices, so that you too could make those choices yourself as a writer, which I think is really cool. I think that would be a better path as opposed to a lot of the things that I teach, which is strictly, nothing's really strictly, but it feels like the majority of it is comprehension based. But that also could just be the age that I teach. I think that comprehension just has to be this foundational thing that we can't do anything else until we comprehend. And then, the more that I watch students fail to comprehend or attempt to comprehend and only comprehend some of it, the more I'm like, okay, well, we can't even do anything interesting or cool until we get to that level. What else? Skiing. I could talk about skiing now. Before break, I went skiing for the second time ever. The third time ever. The first time was a disaster. I don't think anyone should qualify it as an official day on the slopes. I did it 2 years ago. I'd lasted a couple of hours. I was on the magic carpet, didn't feel ready to get off the magic carpet, as in the very first thing that you do in skiing is go down this very this kind of a slope, just to get an understanding of what you're doing. Anyway, then I did the next slope up, and just hated it and felt awful. And it was one of those things in the moment, was not appreciating the learning process at all, was not appreciating the struggle process at all, or the feeling of never be not even or appreciating I'll never be perfect at this and the job is just to get good at this. I was just so angry and so upset with myself that like it was not clicking. And I think, I mean, it probably came from a place of like my body usually does what I need it to do. I don't have that problem where like my physical body fails me or prevents me from doing a thing that I want to do. Now, mind you, the things that I want to do often are not strenuous or impossible, so like it makes sense. But this was like the first time, I think, in my life that not only was I trying to do something that I really wanted to do and couldn't do it, and it was like my body is the one to blame, but it's also like I just can't just walk away or put it down and try again, because like you're on a hill, you're in boots, you're attached to a thing, you paid good money. Anyway, so that was a disaster. And then the second time last year, so I've only gone skiing 3 times ever, and it's like once a year at this point. The second time, like so much progress was made, and I don't know if that was because I don't even know if I still was appreciating the learning process last year either. I think that I just got better because my brain had time to think about it. I could go in with lowered expectations. The peripheral, circumstances improved. It was like there was less people there. It wasn't a weekend, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, I left that time feeling like actually like, oh, I could kind of pontificate on the value of failure and feeling, this, that, and the third about how I just needed to work harder and all this like already like putting failure in my in the past because I'd already moved on from it, which is very funny. Just how short of a memory I had in that moment. And then anyway, last week we went on for the 3rd time, and that was like crazy cool to feel that good at a thing. And not even that like I'm that good, but feeling like, oh my gosh, everything that was hard the first 2 times is not even a problem. The things that are hard are these like technical things that I'm now like working to like work with memory or muscle memory or just more specific movements, as opposed to like I can't stand up or I can't retain balance or whatever. It was just so satisfying to see that, because you don't really, outside of video games, I don't think that adults get to experience that much growth and new things that often. Of course, that's probably my own limited view and my own like failure to appreciate new opportunities for learning. Like I think if I dedicated more time to be a lifelong learner, that I would be more familiar with this feedback loop. I guess this was just my first time in this feedback loop in a while, and I really appreciated it. And so I think I'll leave it there.